Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to an interesting little chat with an amazing athlete. So last week, Matilde Garnes from NRFE qualified for the CrossFit Games 2022. We're here to have a little chat with her about her life, athleticism, and how she feels about the organization as a whole. Matilde, first of all, congratulations on qualifying to the CrossFit Games 2022. Have you realized what it is you did yet, or is it still just kind of in the air?
I think it's still kind of in the air. I haven't had 1 week off, and I've been home to my family. And I think it will be more real when I start training to the games. I did that today, so yeah, I think it's still a bit in the air. Yeah.
So second question I have to ask is I always ask everybody who qualifies, which is, what happened to your social media accounts after you qualified? Did they just blow up?
A bit, yeah. Some new sponsors, yeah, and a lot of new followers.
I think you're going to have to get used to it. If you keep on competing the way you did, then I think you're going to have to get used to
it. Maybe.
But I've got a couple of questions, and I hope that maybe you can help me shed a little bit of light on that. So you are a part of the NRFE organization, but what is that? Like what is that? Like, what is it to somebody who doesn't know?
So we are under the Norwegian Sports Federation, and we have a national team. The last 2 years, it's been more like a real national team. So we are 5 females and 5 males. And we have a coach, Simen Aaslund, and we have a mental coach, Kristin Holte. I guess you know her. And
heard about her.
A chiropractor, and just an amazing team around us. Yeah.
So what is the ambition of the team?
I think NRFE wants to support the athletes to compete at a high level in the sport, both in CrossFit and functional fitness. And we have some national team camps, and yeah, just amazing team around us, and they want to grow the sport as well.
Okay, so there's a competitive side to it, but are you involved with let's say information and recruitment to NRFE as well?
Now I'm just a professional athlete, but I was more involved in the beginning, like last year, when I lived in Trondheim, because I have a CrossFit box there. And then we had some camps for NRFE, and yeah, giving all the information. I was also a part of the Trondheim Functional Fitness Club, because every box or club in each city is a part of the federation as well. But someone else took my role.
You got to
focus on training.
You got to focus on being awesome. Another question: How did you hear about NRFE and get involved? Like where did that come from to you?
I actually don't remember how I heard about it, because I was just a newbie back then. And I found CrossFit just like for a training form, and I didn't think I was going to compete. But I signed up for some team competition just in CrossFit, and someday I was convinced to join an individual competition. It turned out that was the national championship, but I didn't know actually. And I think that was the first national championship we had from the federation. Yeah, and then I was just suddenly involved somehow.
And how did you? I gotta ask, how did you do in the first competition?
I actually placed 5th. And I remember I was like, okay, I just don't want to place last. So, and maybe top 20 would have been fun out of 40. And it was also a qualification for the Worlds, and top 5 qualified for the World Championship in London. So yeah, suddenly I was there as well, competing as Team Norway.
That's a pretty awesome start. Now, I know that you got a scholarship from NRFE as well, and I'm just wondering, how did that help you? What did that mean to you, and kind of when did you start seeing the results of that scholarship?
Yeah, it helped me being able to focus a bit more on the training and work a bit less. It wasn't like a super big amount, but I think like if we sum up the scholarship and some sponsors, it gave me the opportunity to focus more on the training. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a part of the national team. So how does that work? How are the mechanics? Like how does that really work? So you're chosen to the national team, and then you're part of the national team for a season, or is it they just kind of call you up before a competition and go, Matilde, we know that you're awesome. Would you please join us, kind of thing? How does that work?
So they are taking out a national team every season. So it's for 1 year at a time. I think it's after the Worlds every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we are 5 males, five females for 1 year until the next Worlds. And then we meet up regularly to train together with the best athletes in Norway, and also with the coach, mental coach. Yeah.
So what do you think is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from being able to work out with what I would just assume is a pretty legit group of people?
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing group of people. I think we learned a lot. It's from each other and also from the team around us. We have done some testing with semen, like lactate and stuff. And we also have like lectures by skilled professionals in various topics like nutrition, recovery, mental training. And I don't think we would have been able to have that without the national team. No. And also for me, it's been a game changer the last year because I've struggled with an injury. And since we are on the national team, we have an insurance. And that, for me, it was like I got a surgery the same week as I needed it. I got the best health professionals in Norway to take care of the injury and the rehab and everything. So, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to fight for a games ticket this year if it wasn't for the insurance and all the help I got last September when I needed surgery. Yeah.
I love that you say, well, this year. So it's the true competitor's spirit kind of comes out, and you go, well, would have been this year. Just I'm going to move the goals a little bit further forward, but it's going to happen at some point. Yeah. I love that. How competitive are you?
I'm really competitive.
With everything, or just with your fitness?
I think before I started CrossFit, it was like everything. In fact, playing a deck of cards and just everything. But after I was like competing in a really high level in CrossFit, I'm only competitive in CrossFit. So I don't think my family likes to play like games and cards with me anymore because I don't care if I'm the last. I only care if I'm the best in CrossFit.
I think at some point, and you please tell me if I'm right or wrong, but if you're going to get to the level of your career where you're at, that's the mindset you have to have.
Yeah, I think so.
But so when it comes to competitiveness, it kind of leads me to another question I have. I know that I3F have an ambition to become an Olympic sport. What would it mean for you to be at the Olympics and be able to compete at the Olympics?
It would have been really, really big. I think it would have been amazing, and I feel like we belong there. So I really hope they will consider it, and I really hope that happens before I'm too old. like hopefully like 5 years instead of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to have to make some calls. To see if we can speed it up. But so how do you think being a part of the Olympic family would influence the national organization and the sport as a whole?
I think it will be much easier to do this for a living.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I've got three questions for you, which is basically you just have to choose what you like best. Yeah. Barbells or dumbbells? Barbells. Sprints or endurance?
Endurance.
Eco bike or rower?
Eco bike.
Wow. That's impressive. Wow. You got me on the last one. I didn't think you were going to choose that one. Well, Matilde, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you. I wish you the very best at the CrossFit Games. It's always a pleasure to watch you compete. I had the good fortune of seeing you in Amsterdam, and you compete with excellence. It's been a pleasure to see you, and it's going to be interesting to see how you do moving forward as well.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.